Walking Dead mid-season finale, season 5 is over, but we're just getting started here on The Walking Dead Live. And now here are the two guys who are very, very sad tonight. I am Rob Sister. Here's Josh Wigler. Josh, oh my God, Beth is gone.
I'm so sad.
You look very sad.
I'm so upset.
Oh my God, no more Beth.
Bye-bye, Beth.
Bye, Beth is right. Beth is gone on The Walking Dead, and we've got a lot to talk about. Yeah, she's dead. She's dead. And so we've got a lot to talk about here on The Walking Dead live here on postshowrecaps.com. So a lot of things, a whole half season of Walking Dead is in the books. We'll talk obviously about our top story tonight, the death of Beth, and then also where The Walking Dead goes from here, what our reactions were to everything. Morgan, what was that about? So plenty to talk about here on The Walking Dead Live. Of course, we're live here on November 30th, last day of November, and the last day of The Walking Dead Season 5. Coincidence? I don't know. So we've got our live chat room going on postshowrecaps.com. Plus, on Twitter, Scott St. Pierre is following the hashtag PSRecaps and taking your tweets as well. And we're also taking your comments on our YouTube channel at postshowrecaps.com/YouTube. All right, Josh, I feel like this really puts a damper on the whole Thanksgiving holiday.
Oh my God, I know. I was just thinking about that, about how I was so thankful. I ate well. I had some love from my family. Things were going really well, and then Beth got shot in the head.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
I guess that's life, Rob.
That's life. That's life in the Walking Dead world.
Things are going really, 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 really well. And then, like, the character who's, like, I don't know, like, among the bottom tier characters gets shot in the head.
Oh, how dare you.
Is it too soon? Is that too soon?
Too soon. Too soon. Too soon. All right, so we'll talk about Beth.
At least it wasn't Daryl.
At least it wasn't Daryl.
At least
That's
it wasn't
right.
Daryl. Oh, my God. Can you imagine? Oh, I would be really upset if it was Carol.
We would go down to AMC and burn the building down.
I think so.
We'd have to.
Just a one-person operation.
They'd leave us no recourse.
Yeah, exactly.
We would kidnap a bunch of AMC executives and then say, bring Daryl back, or we'll make a trade.
Bring Daryl back for your executives.
Yes. Yes. All right. So, of course, you can always follow The Walking Dead all through the off season and then into next season by subscribing to our podcast feed at postshowrecaps.com/TWD iTunes. And, of course, The Walking Dead will pick back up second week in February. But we've got a lot to get through tonight. Josh, talk about the death of Beth. Did you see it coming?
Well, I've kind of figured somebody has to die. You know, we can't leave this episode without somebody of some importance dying, and I don't think that, Bob Douche is enough. Although that was a great way to start the episode. I kind of enjoyed that quite a bit.
Yeah.
But you kind of figured that somebody of some importance has to die, and there was so much time spent on Beth in this episode that you kind of figured it was going to be her after a certain point. And once we started getting to that final section of the episode and you see Beth, sneaking the scissors into her cast, you kind of start thinking, that might not be a great idea. That might not end well. Check off scissors. They come out, and then she gets her head blown off, and there's a little bit of shock there, kind of like whoa, you did that. You actually did that, The Walking Dead. But I think that the other tip-off was like Maggie finally, for the first time ever, showing emotion over the fact that her sister might still be alive. So it's a little too late, I think. So yeah, I think as the episode was playing along, it sort of started to become clear that maybe we were going to lose Beth.
I have to be honest, the death of Beth is not sitting with me great right now.
Talk to me about that. Let me hear what that means.
Because I feel like it was a needless death. I don't understand exactly what went wrong between Dawn and Beth. Really, was this about Noah? Was this about the conversation they had earlier in the episode? Can you help me get over this needless, senseless death of Beth?
I do think there's a little bit of senselessness to it. I'm still wrapping my head around it myself. I don't really know why Beth has to go ahead and stab this woman with scissors.
Because I feel like they had gotten along particularly well in the episode, and then it just seemed like this one comment of, Noah will be back. I know he'll be back. And then Noah will be back. Yeah. And then when he's back, she says, I knew you'd be back. Is it just that really was worth dying over for Beth? I mean, what did she think the outcome was going to be when she stabs Dawn in the chest with the scissors?
It is a bad plan. It was not a good plan. I've got nothing else to add. It was not a good plan, Rob. It was a bad call, Rob. It was a bad call.
And then over the Noah thing, I feel like when Dawn says, all right, you guys can walk away, but Noah comes with me.
Well, I think that Beth was like, this guy is a good guy. He gave me those lollipops. He was my friend, and now you're just being a jerk to my friend. I'm not going to stand for that.
But I just feel like at this point in time, for Rick to draw the line in the sand, and we've talked about it this season on Sons of Anarchy, where some of the odd lines in the sand that Jax has drawn, right. Where Rick to draw the line in the sand over Noah, you can't have Noah. Why not give Noah? You've come this far for Beth. Yeah, I would say here, take Noah. Everybody hates this guy. Take him anyway.
Yeah, I think so too, and I think that's a little, if it was like Tyrese running the operation or Daryl running the operation, maybe I could buy that. But Rick opens this episode up by shooting a cop in the head, and this cop who doesn't seem to be that horrible of a guy, just really wanted to save his own life, and Rick just runs this guy down with a car and pops him in the face, and now he's drawing a line at Noah, a guy he's known for 5 minutes. I do think that that's a little out of character with the Rick that we're supposed to be buying into this season. I think the Rick we're supposed to be buying into this season is a much harsher, more feral person than we've ever seen from Rick before, and he's pretty, I don't know, he's pretty soft in that moment towards this guy that he doesn't even know. So I don't know, but I think that's kind of the point. And the theme of this season has, as we've been kind of tracing, it seems to be, is there any waking up from this nightmare? Is there any possibility of going back? Can you be who you were before this whole thing began? And I think that those were, Blue Sky Bob's dying words, and that's something that Tyrese has talked about a lot, how we can do this the humane way. We don't have to just go into this hospital and kill all these people. We can take a couple of their guys, trade them for our guys, and everyone gets to walk away with no blood on their hands. And Rick is the guy who says, I don't really want to do that. I kind of just want to go in there and shoot these people up and go take our people back. And you kind of have to think that maybe if they'd done it that way, Beth would be alive.
Well, I think that you would have had some loss of life in Rick's
Well, you'd have loss of life, but it would be heavily on the Grady Hospital side, which would be fine.
I don't know. I don't know.
From Rick's perspective, I mean, and then I think that way you probably have you have Beth and Carol are still there.
Yeah. Boy, I'm always impressed with Rick and Company's assortment of weapons. They have some very impressive artillery here by the time we get to season 5.
I'm crushing on Sasha's sniper rifle, I got to be honest with you.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
That's pretty badass.
It's pretty strong. And so now Beth is gone, and really I couldn't believe it that they end up teasing it that somebody's going to die on The Walking Dead, on The Talking Dead. They're saying that we'll have a surprise guest.
Right.
You saw from some of the creators and producers stories coming out this week. Oh, you'll be crying in The Walking Dead finale. So you knew somebody was going, and then it was just going to be a question of when in that final scene or who.
Yeah, and I don't think that there was really anyone else that they were building up in the episode in terms of being a main character that would have any kind of emotional impact that would die.
I could have seen Sasha.
I could have seen Sasha maybe, but it didn't feel like a big enough deal. I think that they still have some work cut out before they can kill Sasha, and that's a huge emotional moment. I think it would be emotional as it relates to Tyrese, but I don't know how emotional it would be for us as an audience. I think that we still need to get to know her a tiny bit more, I think, personally.
Does it bother you that we spent half the season on trying to save Beth only to have her die in this way in the mid-season finale?
So I think that's going to be a lot of the Monday morning quarterbacking, Rob. I think that this season, and I'm sure we're going to be talking about it tonight as questions start to roll in. That this season started off really fast, really furious, perhaps too fast, too furious, with the destruction of Terminus and Rick, ricking out all over the cannibals, all over the termites, and those guys are dead by the end of hour 3. And then we start getting into the hospital stuff with episode 4, and we already at that point we kind of questioned, where's this going to go? What is this leading toward? Let's give this show the benefit of the doubt. These first 3 episodes were so strong. Let's see where it takes us. And apparently where it's taken us is it was just kind of 5 episodes to set up Beth getting killed. And I think your mileage is going to vary on whether or not that was worth the ride. I'm not entirely sure how I feel about it yet, Rob.
And I thought that the show was setting up here that Dawn actually was the good guys from these all of the police that were in. Of course, there was a second cop douche, Douche 2, Return of the Cop Douche tonight.
Yes, Thread and Needle Cop Douche, or is it Needle and Thread Cop Douche?
Went down Chekhov's elevator shaft tonight.
Yes.
But I thought after that, I thought that Beth and Dawn were really on the same page after that. And then it almost seemed like after the death of Dawn, then everybody was like, it was like the Wizard of Oz, like Wicked Witch ending, where it was like, oh, you killed her. You're our hero. Please stay with us. Come live with us.
Yeah, and not for nothing, Rick just straight up gunned down their friend. So you think that like at that point Dawn is dead, and then instead of that cop being like, oh sweet, you killed Dawn, everything's cool now, you would think that cop would be like, by the way, these people killed our friend. They killed Bob Douche.
Yeah. Didn't you get the sense that all of the other cops were like relieved that Dawn was dead, as opposed to, it made it seem like in the episode that all of the other people were bad. Dawn was keeping the peace and, trying to, there were some bad apples, but she needed them to keep this hospital afloat.
Well, no, I mean, we've had people talking all along the way since the Grady storyline has been in effect about how there seems to be something of a coup developing where some of these cops are just not satisfied with the way that Dawn runs things. So I'm not surprised that people aren't too sad for Dawn to go, especially because a lot of these cops seem to be into like the having sex with unwilling participants.
Right,
thing.
But I thought that it was like there are.
And I think Dawn was holding them back. I think Dawn was like, I don't really like that.
Yeah, I thought there was a faction of like, hey, let's rape everybody, and Dawn's like, no, we're not going to do that around here. And then they're like, we need to overthrow Dawn. But I don't know.
Well, Rob, this is kind of a messed up ending. I think that the rape cops have won. I think.
Is that why they wanted them to stay?
I think, you guys should stay.
Yeah, I don't know.
We'll make you a bed. We'll give you some lollipops.
I don't know. The lady cop seemed like she was like leading the charge of like, hey, you guys can live with us.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe, she sees Daryl Dixon there. She's like, hey, you guys should stick around.
Did anybody end up leaving with them? Did Noah stay or did Noah go with them?
Noah goes with them. I don't, in that final shot, with like the wreckage of Atlanta in the background, and you're seeing all of the characters kind of just meeting up. You see the Gradum Committee. I don't know how the acronym changes with Michonne, Carl, Judith, and Gabriel, so somebody can work on that. But the Gradum crew and those guys, they show back up, and Rick and everybody comes out of the hospital, and Maggie falls to her knees, and I don't think you see anybody other than Noah stepping out, which surprised me. I thought that maybe a few of these people would hit the road, like at least the doctor, Dr. Edwards, I thought maybe would go. So, I don't know, are we never going to see these guys again? What do you think?
I don't know. I don't think so.
I don't think so either. I think that's it.
Miraculous recovery for Carol, who, like, by 40 minutes into the episode, still in a coma. Then they get her into a wheelchair, and then by the end of the episode, she's, like, walking out of the hospital with everybody.
Was she walking? I didn't notice if she was or not.
Yeah, I think she was on her feet by then.
Amazing. Yeah, but you know what? Carol would even be a badass in a coma. Like, if they had, like, comatose Carol in their group, she'd be better than, I don't know. She'd certainly be more effective than Father Gabriel.
All right. We'll get to Father Gabriel. You brought it up about Rick's opening scene of the episode, and I think, for my money, I think that was probably the best part of the show tonight. Where
can't go back, Bob.
Yeah, Rick is like driving the car, and Bob is running and trying to get away, and Rick is like, "Okay, I need you to slow down. Like, stop right now." And the guy's like, no, not going to do it. And then Rick just runs him down with the car.
It was awesome. It was really, really good. I loved that. I thought that was amazing. I don't know what that says about me, but I thought that was incredible.
But what a departure for the guy that we saw, like, running around in a cop uniform in season 1.
I know.
To be running down and murdering in cold blood another police officer.
It's awesome. I'm really, aside from kind of that final scene of the night, which I think that we've talked about why that scene may or may not work. I think that the Rick of season 5 he's been a real pleasure. It's been great having this guy around. He's crazy. He's a crazy person. I think that his transformation from day 1 of The Walking Dead to day whatever it is of The Walking Dead is substantial and fantastic. Really good.
Rick's lost it and has become increasingly interesting, I think.
Exactly. I think the crazier and crazier he gets, the better he gets as a character. And Andrew Lincoln as Psycho Rick is just, I'm a big fan. Very big fan of that.
And if I could make one request from the back half of Season 5, let's not go away from Rick for 3 episodes in the back half.
Hopefully not. Hopefully not. Well, the whole group is together again right now. I really, really, fingers crossed that we're mostly going to be together going forward. But we've made that wish before and it's been broken. So
the problem is we'll got a fat cast in that. How many people do we have all together? There's the Greydom group. That's 6.
Yep, that's a lot.
Right, and then plus Rick, Carl. Michonne, Daryl, Carol, that's 11, plus Gabriel is 12. Is there anybody I'm missing?
Did you say Tyrese and Sasha?
Oh, Tyrese and Sasha, so that's 14.
Baby Judith?
Well, but let's not even count her because she's sleeping most of the time. But
14.1.
And Noah, so that's like a 15-person, caravan.
And maybe Morgan, depending on how Morgan fits into this thing.
Yeah, so that's a lot of people to, come up with story with for every week. So I understand why they have to split it up, but let's not get so divided. If you want to split the group in half, that's fine, but I feel like don't do, each episode, have everybody in the finale and the premiere, and then take the other 6 episodes and give us like 2 people a week for the whole season.
Or they just gotta kill half the cast.
Yeah, that's fine too. We're A-okay with that. Let's talk about the Gabriel storyline because he got a lot of screen time tonight on the episode, and I still don't know where the Gabriel storyline is going.
Well, I don't know that it's necessarily. I don't know. I don't know that it's necessarily going somewhere so much as I think the question coming out of last week's episode was literally, where is Father Gabriel going? You're in your church. You're surrounded by people who can protect you. Why are you escaping? You're stepping on a rusty nail. Now you're in trouble. You can't even kill a walker. What's your problem? Where are you going? And we found out. We found out that he needed to verify that these people, that the Terminus people were who Rick said they were. He verifies that. He sees the foot on the fire. That's good enough. Gabriel gets it, and he's as a result, he's made the mistake of leading all of these walkers back to the church. So I think that Gabriel just needed to know whether or not the people he's shacking up with are just straight up psychopaths or if they were defending themselves.
Yeah, but with that much in doubt, Gabriel sees Bob come back with his foot cut off. Does he think that Bob is making this story up? Then Gabriel saw the guys come and attack the church. I mean, was it that much in doubt for Gabriel?
Well, I think that the thing that you're losing sight on here, Rob, is that Father Gabriel sucks. Father Gabriel kind of sucks. Father Gabriel kind of sucks. He can't kill a walker. He shut out his entire flock.
Falls down on garbage bags.
Whoa! Oh my God, that's crazy. Yeah, Father Gabriel. Father Gabriel sucks, Rob. And I think that if you try to understand him too much beyond that, I think you're overdoing it.
I gotta say, Michonne and Carl took the Father Gabriel shenanigans particularly well.
A little too well, I think, especially for Carl, who we've seen in the past. We've seen him shoot people in the head for less. I'm surprised that he let Father Gabriel go so lightly.
Nobody even questions, why did you leave? You were safe in here, you idiot.
Yeah, now we're all outside. We can't go back in your church. It sucks.
Yeah, we're out here with the walkers, and I have a baby in a backpack.
We're in big trouble.
Yeah, the diapers are in the church.
Oh man, yeah, they really should have ripped into Father Gabriel a little bit. Hopefully that's still on the way.
Really, I mean, I think that what Abraham did to Eugene, I think that would have been fair to give to Father Gabriel.
Yeah, just have Father Gabriel unconscious for the rest of the series.
That would be fine.
That would be pretty good. Well, I think if you're talking about thinning out the cast, I think you could probably start with Father Gabriel.
Start with Father Gabriel. Yeah, so I don't know what he's up to or what lesson he learned. Is he going to be a badass now?
No way.
We saw also...
Do you think that guy is ever a badass, Rob?
No.
Come on.
And then we saw the Greatham group. Now, did Abraham know what was going on at the church? Because that was a kind of a jerk move to just, like, take out the stairs to the church with a fire truck.
He's like, sorry, the fire truck hasn't been working very well.
Is that what was going on?
I just kind of drove it into the church. I had nowhere else to park. I'm not a good parker. No, I feel like, they see, like, all of these zombies, squirreling around through the door, and he's just like, I should probably do something about that.
Now, by the way, is Eugene awake yet?
I don't think so.
Like, are they just leaving Eugene in the fire truck while they go around and go to, like, hey, let's blow this joint, go save your sister.
Here's the real question, Rob. Is Eugene still unconscious, or is he faking it?
No, that would be good. If I was Eugene, I think I would stay asleep. That's a good move.
Yeah, just like now he's just like lying about being asleep all the time.
That would also be a good move.
I'm not asleep.
Like, hey Eugene, did you just open your eyes? Like, no, I didn't. Let's talk about Morgan. Extended scene with Morgan at the end of the episode. Josh, where in time is Morgan?
So it's sometime later. I haven't read like exactly how long it is later, but it's been confirmed that it's sometime later. We certainly get confirmation with that with this scene tonight that the walkers in the church have been taken care of or are gone at this point. So it's at least some, if not, a few days, maybe weeks, who knows? Sometime later. And interesting. It has an interesting ending, this Morgan scene tonight.
Yeah, so Morgan is playing around the church. He looks just pretty happy to be there.
I think he's a lot happier than the last time we saw him, for sure.
Yeah.
And I'm not even talking about like the post-credit scene where we saw him in the season premiere. I'm talking about back in Clear when that guy was just a crazy person.
Yeah.
Morgan seems to have his shiz together a little bit better.
So overall, he's very happy. He seems like, the church looks like it's in better condition than where Gabriel and Michonne and Carl left it.
So you think somebody else has come through?
I mean, did it seem that way to you, or am I imagining things?
Maybe they went back to the church after the hospital. They cleaned up a little bit. They spruced the place back up.
Yeah, some people came in, cleaned it up.
Then they were on their way.
Yeah, and so Morgan ends up finding the map with the note from Abraham on it that says, hey, sorry, I was an a-hole. Come to Washington, D.C., Rick Grimes.
Yeah, the world needs more Rick Grimes. And so Morgan sees that. So that says to me that either we're sending Morgan off to Washington, D.C. to be completely on his own for no apparent reason, or even though Eugene was lying about this thing, the group is going to be heading to Washington, D.C. anyway. Otherwise, why have that be the way that Morgan can go and find Rick?
Or do you think that it was just that he found the map and then found that Rick Grimes, he was on the trail of Rick Grimes? Like, is Washington, D.C. just sort of like the red herring in there?
I guess that's possible. I mean, that means that Morgan is an excellent tracker, because how else is he going to go and find Rick Grimes? Or if he, follows the path to DC, then I think that's a way that he's going to run into Rick again. Either way, I feel like that's a big stinking clue about where we're going to go in the second half of season 5. I don't think that you just drop that in arbitrarily.
So, Josh, when Morgan finds these guys, what is going to be the significance of that?
I think it's going to be we just get Morgan on the show. I think the significance is we get probably the best character in the Walking Dead pilot is actually now actively part of the show.
Yeah.
That would be good. I think that Morgan, in like 2 or 3, I guess 4 appearances now, if you want to call these 2 scenes, if you want to count them individually. In 4 appearances on The Walking Dead, Morgan is like probably top 10 best character. So it would be great to have him on board full time. I think.
Pound for pound.
That's the significance.
Pound for pound, he's doing a good job. Yeah. So, but they're really building him up to be like this incredibly significant character when they get reunited. Is he going to be an adversary for Rick Grimes, or is he going to be, maybe the guy who brings Rick back to not being a crazy person?
I could see it going both of those ways. Those are both cool possibilities. I haven't really thought about it too much. I like the idea of like bad guy Morgan could be pretty sweet, but I also like the idea of Morgan being the guy like, yo, Rick, I was crazy too. It's not a good place to be. Let's ramp down a little bit.
It's not a good look, Rick.
It's not a good look, Rick.
Bring it back.
Or maybe he's like, after writing on those walls all that time, he's finally figured out, I know how to make them clear.
Oh.
I know how to clear him. I know how to stop this thing. Maybe Morgan is the new Eugene. Nah, probably not.
I don't know about that. Okay. Look, you want to talk about Cop Douche 2?
Oh, yeah. Revenge of the Douche.
Yeah, that really escalated quickly with Cop Douche 2.
Cop Douche 2 was a real douche. And not for nothing. Among all of his offenses, that clearly this guy, Don is accusing him of being one of the rapey cops. That's not good. He's punching Don. He's hitting a woman. That's not great. But I think the biggest offense of the night is he was beating up Santa Claus.
Yeah, Santa. Percy is his name.
Percy Claus.
He loves strawberries.
Loves strawberries.
Yeah, and why is he being such a jerk about like, hey Santa, I got a hole in my uniform. I thought you knew how to sew.
Because this guy's his ward, and if you're one of the wards, you gotta pull your weight.
I mean, why? Why is anybody so concerned about the dress code here?
Because these are civilized people, Rob.
It's like, hey, I'm raping somebody. I want to look good. Okay,
you gotta look good.
Santa.
I guess so.
I can't have a hole in my uniform.
Well, I'm not gonna go there.
Yeah, easy. Yeah. All right. That really escalates very quickly. That
escalated quickly. Yeah, yes. It really did. It just it really got out of hand.
Very quickly. And so what exactly was the setup there? So Beth wanted to be alone, so she took Dawn's key to the elevator and sat in the open elevator shaft.
That Beth was a real maverick. Or I guess a Mav Beth, because Rick is the Maverick.
Yeah, and then they're just sitting there like, hey, I want to be alone. I just want to sit in the elevator shaft. You got a problem with that?
Yeah.
And they're just talking, and then what happens? That Cop Douche 2 overhears that part about like she knows that Beth is a cop killer.
Yeah, you're a cop killer, Beth. She's a what? Oh crap! I shouldn't have said that in front of the other cop. Yeah, I think that's basically what happened.
That's bad on Dawn though. She's got to know the acoustics of the hospital.
I mean, I think one of the things we could say definitively after this episode is that Dawn, like Father Gabriel, sucks a little bit. Not so great. No longer an issue because she is dead.
Yeah. What was Beth going for? Like when Beth puts the scissors in her cast, like what's she thinking? Like, this better be safe than sorry?
Yeah. Sure, Rob. If you're looking for answers, if any of you guys are looking for answers, I don't know. I'm still wrestling with this whole what happened to Beth thing. I don't know, Rob. Don't know what to tell you.
We got some talk about Cabin Douche tonight, where Tyrese
return of Cabin Douche. Yes.
Yeah, and so he tells Sasha that, hey, look, I know how you felt. Like, not only did my significant love interest die and get murdered, I also let somebody off the hook. Yeah, Sasha and Tyrese are so similar.
I also effed up. Back when Carol was busy destroying Terminus, I was in a cabin with a guy named Martin Cabin Douche, and I let him live, and that was a mistake. And that's still like Sasha doesn't feel better about that. Sasha basically says, well, Tyrese, good for you. Good thing that you're still a good guy. I'm a bad person now. That's just the way it is.
Yeah. Sad.
It's sad. It's Sasha's, really taking this whole Bob thing very hard.
One other nitpick with this episode. Felt like we spent a lot of time on the backstory of Dawn and Hanson.
Well, you gotta make it impactful for when she gets shot in the face, Rob.
I guess so.
No, no.
I think that would have been exactly the same without knowing the whole backstory of like her fighting with Cop Douche too.
Right.
You weren't there. Like, don't you dare call me Hanson.
Do you think that we're gonna get a Cop Douche 3 at any point?
I'm sure there will be another douchey cop.
How far along do you think the Cop Douche franchise will go?
A long way. For longer than Fast and Furious.
Will it be Cop Douche Tokyo Drift?
Yeah, yes. Also, I felt like the Doctor, we really set him up as a character and then totally like didn't do anything with that.
I think I'm bummed out about that. I thought that he was cool. You know, he had some moral ambiguity that I liked. I think that's a good look on just about any Walking Dead character. You want to have a little bit of those shades of gray. And I think, yeah, he's an asset. He's a doctor. Doctors are good. Maybe he'll catch up with these guys later. Maybe he'll be like, you know what? On second thought, I think I will come with you. I liked Beth. You guys seem to be buddies with her. Let's figure this out.
Yeah, we've got 16 characters in the cast. If we're going to spend that much time with the Doctor, let's go somewhere with the Doctor.
Yeah, what's one more person to bring along? Let's add a 17th. What's the harm in that?
It's not like we can't use the Doctor.
Yeah, he can he only has to speak when we need him to speak. Whenever we need a Doctor explainy scene, otherwise he can just hang in the background.
Yeah, I mean right now Maggie is the de facto Doctor. That it's like her dad was a doctor. It's like nepotism.
And poor Maggie. I mean, this family, the whole like Green family, has been at the center of all of these horrible mid-season finales. Except for, well, I think even season 3, wasn't Maggie captured by the governor? Wasn't that the mid-season finale where she was rescued and Daryl was captured? Either way, I think that was the mid-season 3 finale. Is the one where like the governor's like kind of getting rapey with Maggie as well.
Yeah, I don't think that was quite the finale. I feel like Andrea died in the mid-season.
No, Andrea dies in the straight-up season 3.
Oh, that's
finale.
a straight-up finale. Okay.
And I think that like the raid on Woodbury is the mid-season 3 finale, and I think that Maggie's she's getting touched by the governor. It's not good. It's very uncomfortable for everybody. Season 2, it's like, oh, it turns out that all of Herschel's family is dead and in this barn, and that's very sad. Then season 4's mid-season finale is Herschel gets his head chopped off. Mm-hmm. Then season 5 mid-season finale is Beth gets her brains blown out. I think if we're going to do a death draft at the end of this podcast tonight, Rob, and I don't think that's necessarily the worst idea, or at least we should talk about our death draft. I think that you'd be a fool to pick Maggie because she is safe until the season 6 mid-season finale.
No, Glenn is going to die.
Oh, so is Maggie the bad luck charm?
Yeah.
So Maggie just survives everybody.
Yeah.
Oh, all right. Man, that's depressing.
Let's go ahead and get into some of your questions here tonight. Of course, we try to be the most interactive Walking Dead show around. We want to hear what you guys have to say live here tonight. And so let's go ahead and bring up the question. Josh, can you read this question?
I absolutely can. Okay. I actually cannot.
Okay.
I was lying. I can't actually read this question.
You're like Eugene.
I know. I can't read.
Yeah.
I can't read.
So it's coming up with a black screen?
No, yeah, but I can squint my eyes and I can see this.
Okay, Scott, if you could just send them to me on GChat also, then we could take them that way also.
All right, sounds good. All right, so we've got this in from Clownsided who writes in and says, do you guys think the show is kind of going in circles with no real point to it? Wow, that's
how dare you?
That's a harsh one to lead off with, but well, let's dig into it. What do you think about that, Rob? Do you think?
No, I don't think they're going in circles. I mean, if you
want to get technical about it, Rob, we are back in Atlanta.
Yeah, but I feel like at the point where, like with the governor came and attacked the jail, and then that happened again, I think you could say that was going in circles. I don't think we're going in circles. I don't think that's a fair criticism. If you want to say, hey, nothing exciting is happening, I don't even know if you could say that. I mean, we did kill off Beth tonight. You may not like the direction, but I mean, where do you want it to go? It's a bleak world.
Yeah, it's not going to be. They're not going to be eating shawarma at the end of this thing, I don't think.
Yeah. Okay.
It's an Avengers reference.
So let's go to another question, and not sure who this is from, but this is from. Are there any frontrunners for future douches in part 2 of the season 5?
Oh my God! Yeah, what kind of douches do we want to see? We've got a doctor douche, we had the cabin douche, we've had at least 2 cop douches. Probably, honestly, all of them are a little douchey.
Yeah, probably.
We want to see like forest ranger douche.
I mean, is it like the Village People? Do we want to see like construction worker douche? Yeah.
Abraham's kind of fireman douche right now.
he does play the part pretty well.
Yeah. I don't know. What kind of douches do we want? Construction worker douche is a good call.
Indian douche.
Yeah, I'm not a douche.
Native American douche.
Native American douche. Come on.
Yeah.
Come on. Chef douche.
Chef douche. Wasn't that the guys from
Terminus? Yeah, those guys were chef douches for sure.
By the way, the Bible that Gabriel finds was that Gareth's mom's Bible?
I thought so, yeah, because her name was Mary, and it says Mary in the Bible, so I believe so.
Yeah,
I would say so.
I think that's good. Susan Appleby wants podcaster douche.
Podcaster douche. Well, I think you're listening to him right now.
That's right.
Yeah. Wait, we're shithead and asshole, right? I don't think that we qualify for douche.
According to the comments, yeah.
Yeah.
Also, I do feel like the guys at Terminus who were like broadcasting the radio signal, I feel like those were podcaster douches.
Yes, yeah. Oh, those guys were horrible podcaster douches.
Yeah. One of the things I really did like in the episode was when you saw like that line of zombies just walking into the church, where across the like archway in the church, it was painted on the ceiling, "He who eats my flesh and drinks my blood has eternal life." And I thought that was a really cool sort of double meaning for just the church just being overrun by zombies.
It was cool.
I really liked that.
It was cool. I liked the, screw Father Gabriel, that guy's a loser, but I liked him leading all of those zombies back to the church, if for no other reason than we got to see Michonne cut off all of the heads. It was really, really, really good to see Michonne use that samurai sword on some zombies. It had been a while. That was great. I was very happy about that.
It had been a while. All right, here's a question from Michael Rajpal. Do you feel like the momentum of the show has slowed down since the first 3 episodes?
I think yes. That I feel pretty comfortable saying that. I don't know yet if that's a big criticism against the show, but I think that the speed that they came out with in those first 3 episodes, they really did. It was almost a season of itself. It was almost its own little mini season with the Terminus thing just getting wrapped up so quickly. It was really breathless and exhilarating, and I think that those 3 episodes, as kind of just like taken as one 3-part story, I think are maybe the strongest episodes of the entire show. So that's hard to come back from. I do think that we lost some speed along the way. What do you think, Rob?
Yeah, but you know what? I think it's hard also to write this show because, when you sit in the writer's room, it's like, all right, and again, there is a graphic novel, so I'm sure that there's a wealth of stories that they can choose from, but it is sort of difficult. Like, okay, what do we want to do? Okay, we could get another person get kidnapped, and we have to go rescue them.
Right.
We could do that again.
There's some more cannibals.
We could do that. There's a new big bad that wants to kill everybody, and then they have to fight that person. And other than that, I mean, really, how many other things can they do on this show?
Right.
So it's a tough world to come up with new and compelling storylines.
Well, also it's difficult when the philosophy of the show, the philosophy of Robert Kirkman, who's the writer of the comic books and executive producer on the show, his philosophy in creating The Walking Dead was, this is the zombie movie that never ends. And when it's the zombie movie that never ends, it's gonna, it's gonna drag here and there. That's just how it is. Life drags, and so this is. I think that he tries to be fairly realistic to that, and I think that benefits the show sometimes, and I think it doesn't necessarily benefit the show the other times. But if that's the guiding principle, you're right. I think that's a tough principle to write to successfully all the time.
All right, Mark Solera wants to know, so what's Morgan's storyline when The Walking Dead comes back in February? Is he just going to be the, hey, stay for the credits guy? Morgan's going to do stuff, or is he going to play a bigger role? Do you see Morgan getting just more interstitial type stuff at the end of the episode, basically the warm-up act for The Talking Dead, or do you think he will actually be seen in the main parts of the episode in Season 5?
I think if we see him in the main parts of the episode in Season 5, it's not going to come until towards the end of Season 5. Just with the way that this has been paced so far, this is only the second post-credits Morgan scene that we've gotten, since only the second that we've gotten, period, of these little Morgan stingers. And I think that's probably, it seems to me like that's how they're going to play it until later into season 5. I think it'll resolve by the end of season 5. But in terms of Morgan being squarely among the cast members, my prediction would be, I would say, probably season 6.
Yeah. See, I thought that those were bloopers with Morgan, and I was waiting for him to do something funny.
Well, the first time they did it, when there's this scene and it's right before Talking Dead, and some guy turns around and he has a mask on and he rips the mask off. I half expected it to be Chris Hardwick under there.
Oh,
like just to be like some sort of setup for Talking Dead, but it turned out to be serious. So I don't know. I guess they're really actually doing something here, or like Conan O'Brien or something like that.
Yeah, Conan. Here's a question from Farzan. When Rick offered for those to leave and join them, we never saw them exit. Safe to assume they all declined? I think that's safe to assume, right?
Yeah, I think so. Which is a bummer. You know, I would have liked to have seen some of those people on the road, just if only as red shirts or blue shirts, I guess.
Well, don't we have enough red shirts?
Well, that's the problem. Who are the red shirts in our group? Who can we afford to lose? And there are some people. I don't know if I want to name all of these people.
Why not?
I mean, I feel like you could probably lose Rosita. You could probably.
Well, but at least Rosita, there are.
See, that's the thing, Rob. Here you go. Here you go. You're starting to defend a red shirt. There's something to defend about.
Tara's your red shirt.
No, she's got positive energy. She has a yo-yo.
Yes, and your point is.
And she's great with nicknames.
Yeah. I hear what you're saying.
You know, there's something to say about most of these characters. So I mean, listen, do I think Tara is going to survive for the next 3 seasons? Probably not. I don't think that Tara's going to go super deep into this thing. I don't know about some of these other characters, but I feel like this show is at a point where like it's hard to kill a lot of these people. I think a lot of these characters are kind of hard for the show to want to pull the trigger on, but at a certain point, you got to thin this cast out. It really is. It's 15, 16 people at this point. That's a lot of cast. And, that's, not even factoring in, like, we got to meet some new people along the way. So how many more people are going to join this thing?
I don't know. Well, you know what? Compared to Game of Thrones, it's a small cast.
I guess so. But Game of Thrones has all of these different storylines, and they've got 60 minutes to actually spend on all of these different storylines. We only have like 42 minutes a week with these characters, so it's a little harder to balance this cast with that runtime.
Okay. Lauren Garcia wants to know, what is the time difference between Morgan's timeline and Rick's? I almost want to say a week or more might have gone by instead of just missing the group by hours. Do you think that that's fair?
Yeah, I mean, we talked about that for a second. I think it's probably at least a week, I would guess. I don't think that it's a couple hours. Oh, maybe. That would be great news, and then Morgan just shows up. That would be cool.
Okay. Rainwalk86 says, it seems like they do nothing for entire episodes, but then leave episodes with cliffhangers. Is that formula getting annoying? Boy, I feel like the commenters it seems like we're getting a lot of negative questions tonight.
My guess, Rob, is that this is a controversial episode. I haven't seen much of the chatter online because I've been talking to you. I watched the first couple minutes of Talking Dead, and it was emotional. Keegan-Michael Key is on there right now, which is kind of great. So I think I'm getting reports that Emily Kinney is crying on the Talking Dead.
Oh,
that's very sad. It's a highly emotional episode, but I think that there's probably going to be a vocal contingent of people who are displeased with this thing. And I don't know if they're without merit.
But I'm surprised because I feel like a majority of the viewers probably, I feel like, we can be cynical sometimes and we try not to be too cynical. But I feel like for the majority of people that watch the show, they tuned in, they saw one of the characters die, they're probably sad about that. I feel like overall I would think that this episode would have a positive approval rating.
But I think that something that would stand in the way of that is, so did we really just have this whole hospital storyline just so that Beth could die? I think is a piece of it. And now we're back on the road, so the hospital thing is really over with, and this is really all that it was leading towards. What did we gain from this deal? I think it is part of it. And then the other thing is, did Beth really need to die? I'm still trying to figure out how that all played out with the scissors and everything, and why she thinks it's a good idea to stab Officer Dawn, and why does Dawn just instinctively shoot her in the brain? So for me, I want to watch the episode again, but in my memory, it's a little bit sloppy the way that plays out, and I think that there's going to be some people who are annoyed with that as well.
Are you surprised that we walk away from the mid-season finale with that much of a clean slate? Like, I thought we would have been coming away from this with a cliffhanger. I mean, and that's typically been the case, where we have a mid-season cliffhanger. But really, we're coming away from the mid-season finale with a completely blank slate. We could be doing anything. There's really no storyline or anything that's going on right now. We pretty much have closure on just about everything.
Yeah, it's kind of like the season 4 finale was a real cliffhanger. Everybody's in the train. How the hell do we get out of this train? And now everyone's back together. There's no one that they have to go and rescue. It's sad that one of their friends just got killed, but really the world is kind of their rotting flesh oyster at the moment. But it's their oyster, and they can go out and they can go and do whatever the hell they want. So yeah, we're kind of left without too much to predict and too much of an idea about what the direction of the show is from here. It's an interesting choice.
Like last year, we were at the point where like, okay, well, we saw, all right, so Tyrese left with the kids, and then Glenn left on the bus.
The governor came in and effed shit up, and now everybody's scattered to the 9 winds. What are we going to do? How are we going to get back together? There's nothing like that right now.
Yeah, so everybody's just back together, and the story could really pick up anywhere that they want.
Yeah, it's interesting. We'll see. We'll see how we react from that. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Let's take a question from Andrew Brockman. What's next for Maggie? How's she going to handle this in the next half of the season?
I'm going to guess that she's fine.
Based on her reaction when she thought, her sister was dead previously, which was almost no reaction. I think she'll get over this.
I think that she's going to have like an episode of being really sad about it, and then I think her next episode she'll be okay.
She'll be over it. Hey,
no, you know what? I think that this is going to weigh very heavily on Maggie. I think this is going to be very upsetting for Maggie.
Well, how did she deal with the Herschel thing?
She was more upset about finding Glenn. She wanted to find Glenn. But now she doesn't have like anyone to distract her, so it's not like she has to go and find Glenn. She knows where Glenn is, and now her sister is dead. I think that she's going to be very upset about this. I think we're going to see sad face Maggie for the next little while, but the thing is if this is the direction that we were going to go in with Beth, I feel like they could have thrown us a little bit in terms of Maggie feeling for Beth. This has been a pretty vocal criticism against Maggie for the past several episodes, basically ever since we split off from the prison, is everyone being like, why doesn't Maggie care that her sister is gone? And now, like, finally we get some kind of reaction from her in this episode. It's the first time she's really even acknowledged it, except for like a side comment in the season premiere in the train. And now I think we're going to get very sad Maggie, and it's going to kind of be like, but she didn't really care before. Why does she care now? Yeah. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. I think we're going to have sad Maggie for a little while.
Yeah, we may have the overreaction where
I think so.
Like
we're
Maggie may wear like all black and the rest of season 5 and
Goth Maggie.
Yes, Goth Maggie.
Yeah.
Here's an interesting question. This is from Brittany Scott, who wants to know, does anybody else think that Beth may have sacrificed herself? Now, we did see, it's been mentioned earlier this season, Beth's suicide. That got brought up in the hospital storyline. Do you think that this was, in some way, did Beth try to commit suicide again?
Suicide by cop? I don't know.
To me, it seems particularly reckless in that other people could have easily died in that move. But it is
not only that, but that all these people, all of her friends, just like risked life and limb to save her.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of a jerk move.
It's kind of a jerk move. Absolutely.
I don't know. Maybe. I guess it's possible.
It's possible. I mean, they did bring it up on the show this season. Also, I mean, could it be anything? It was like she tried to slit her wrist. She hid the scissor on her wrist. Is there a connection there?
Huh. Maybe. I don't know.
It's possible.
I guess it's possible.
All for stupid Noah.
Yeah, say no to Noah.
That guy's got to die in the back half of season 5.
Oh, man.
That's a red shirt if I ever saw one.
Isn't he wearing a red shirt?
He should be.
I feel like he is. I feel like he's got like a red flannel.
Let's do one more question, and then let's talk about our draft, Josh.
Okay.
This is from Lady J882. Beth dying totally explains why Tyrese has been in nanny training the past few weeks. Why does that explain? Because Beth was the nanny?
Well, Beth used to take care of Judith, right?
Yes.
But Tyrese has already been Tyrese has been in nanny mode for about 16 episodes at this point.
Yeah, I agree.
You know?
All
and
right.
Michonne was a pretty good nanny too. She saved the kids tonight. That was cool.
Yes, she did. Okay, so Josh, back in the beginning of season 5, we tried to make our predictions of who was going to make it through the half season.
Correct.
Okay, and you told me that you actually have these findings.
Yes, I've reviewed the tape.
Okay.
Are you ready? This was the draft.
I'm ready. Can't wait to hear about how I kicked your butt again, Wiggler.
Big time.
All
right.
Time.
Here's how it went.
Here we go.
All right, so I picked first. I picked Bob.
Okay, which Bob?
I picked Bob, just Bob. Bob.
All right, Bob.
So I picked Bob. You picked Eugene.
Oh, that was so close on that one.
Yeah, that was pretty close, actually, yeah.
Wait, hold on. Is he dead?
He's not dead yet. So I think for the half season, you're wrong. But if he never wakes up, do we count this as the moment that killed him? I think maybe you get half credit.
I did like the line that Maggie said last week, well, if we move him, that could be bad. Well, what do we need to do to make him better? He's like, he needs to wake up.
Yeah, just wake up, Eugene.
Yeah.
So you picked Eugene, then I picked Rosita. Rosita's fine right now.
Rosita's fine. And Rosita is fine.
Rosita's fine. She's fine. You picked Morgan. Morgan, who is also fine.
Morgan is fine, as far as we know.
Morgan is fine.
Yes.
So you picked Morgan. I picked Gareth.
Gareth
is gone.
Yes.
Gareth is off the board. And you picked Sasha.
Oh, man.
And believe it or not, Beth went undrafted, which I think
man.
is a shame because we just did 3 and 3. Beth went undrafted, so no one scores for Beth. It's a bummer.
I feel like we had her in previous seasons.
Yeah, I think last season one of us had Beth. I don't think it counts though. You have to have them for your half season draft. So I've got 2 on the board. It's 2-0. I'll only take credit for one of the Bobs, Rob. I'll go easy on you.
So if I get all 3 right in the back half of the season, and you get nothing right, I can still come back and win in season 5?
Well, I think that's something to think about. Do we want to redraft? Do we want to hold? How do you want to do this?
You redraft.
We have to redraft.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do we want to do that now, or do we want to take?
No, let's do that in our Walking Dead season 5 back half preview.
Yeah, I think that we need to sit down. We need to think about this. We need to process everything that's happened in this first half of season 5, and we'll react accordingly.
Okay. All right. So we will be back with Walking Dead in February. Maybe we'll have some off-season content on the Walking Dead. We'll see. We'll see how much of a clamoring there is for more Walking Dead. Of course, if you want to make sure you don't miss an episode of anything Walking Dead we do, you can subscribe at postshowrecaps.com/TWD iTunes. And of course, Josh, we like to give out a hashtag at the end of every one of these shows. Do you have a good hashtag for tonight's episode?
Cop Douche 2?
Cop Douche 2, the sequel.
Sequel.
All right. Cop Douche 2 it is. Also, if you've been watching the shows on YouTube this season, please make sure you subscribe and make sure you never miss an episode. Click the subscribe button or go to postshowrecaps.com/YouTube. We also appreciate it when you give the videos a like and also your comments. We'd love to get them.
Yeah, it's always great.
Yeah. And so also as well, keep the comments coming on postshowrecaps.com. Josh, we've got a busy week coming up on Post Show Recaps. We are down to the nitty-gritty on the Sons of Anarchy.
Oh, man, yeah. After a week off, we're back, and it's the penultimate episode this week. There's only 2 episodes left.
Only 2 episodes left. Yeah, can you believe that 10 days from now, Sons of Anarchy will be over?
Yeah, that's a shock. Is it actually going to be 10 days? Because I feel like it's going to be 10 days worth of hours in the series finale.
That's entirely possible.
I feel like the episode's going to start on December 9th, and it's just going to go through like New Year's.
Keep going and going and going. Josh, what else do you have coming up on Post Show Recaps?
There's one podcast that's coming up this week that I am going to be reuniting with my good buddy Antonio Mazzaro, who I recapped The Strain and The Leftovers with. We're going to announce something that we're going to start doing here on Post Show Recaps for the next couple of weeks leading to the return of a show that we love very, very much, premiering in January for its final season. I won't name the show. If you are a fan of the show, then you probably have figured it out by now. If not, and you like what Antonio and I do, you should subscribe. postshowrecaps.com/iTunes, and you will find out on Tuesday.
All right, and for Chris Berger, you want to touch on the Better Call Saul promo?
Oh, my God. Yeah, what did you think of that? I thought that looked good.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's going to be good. I mean, I just don't understand. What is the time frame on Better Call Saul?
It's from what I understand is it's a prequel to Breaking Bad. It's what Saul Goodman was up to in the years before he became the Saul Goodman we know on Breaking Bad. But there's also some stuff that's going to happen parallel with Breaking Bad, perhaps a little bit after Breaking Bad. So the phrase that's been thrown around by the creators is flexible timeline.
Flexible timeline. Okay.
Yeah, so that could be cool. I mean, we've got Mike Ehrmantraut on the show. That's awesome.
Yeah, that'll explain why it's like 5 years earlier, but they all look older.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, sure.
But I'm looking forward to hearing all about it on post-show recaps.
Post-show recaps.
I think we're gonna bring your Breaking Bad gang back together, right?
Yeah, Better Call Saul podcast coming in February as well. So we're all about the AMC in February on post-show recaps.
It's good stuff.
Okay. All right. Have a great night. Scott St. Pierre, thank you so much for putting the questions together tonight. Thanks to everybody who was with us all the way through the first half of Walking Dead Season 5. Can't wait to get back together with you guys in the back half of Season 5 of The Walking Dead. Thanks again, Josh, and we'll talk to you guys again soon. Take care, everybody.